topic?
Marijuana.
Just marijuana?
And meth.
No, meth is not me. Hold on. That would be the chief. The chief is going to talk about meth. All right, I'm not licensed for that one. So marijuana. Has anybody ever partaken of marijuana? Oh, good for you. Look at that. All right. Look at the camera on. I got him now. All right. Does anybody here not know what that plant is? Okay, cool. So we're all on the same page. Marijuana. Marijuana, right? Does anybody not know what it is? Seriously. Everybody knows what it is? Okay. I've got some samples over at the table. Those brownies that you've all been consuming. Just give you the heads up.
They're already almost gone.
Yeah, can we get these over here? Thank you. So these brownies, feel free to have a sample.
They're fine.
They're very sweet and delicious, right? So there's a lot of controversy around the subject of marijuana. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
As realtors, we're kind of the front lines for people buying their properties. Also fair to say, right? Who here are real estate investors? Own properties, multifamilies, singles, they're renting them out? Yes? Or my investors, put your hands up. Makes it easier to find you guys. Okay. There's 3, 4 in the room. Who here works with investors? Okay. So is it fair to say that investors want to make good return on their investment?
Yes.
So fair to say that whether or not marijuana dispensaries have an effect on that is probably important to them? Yes. We agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I left my notes over here. Give me 1 sec. Not that I need them. Well, I have a theory that at the end of this, anybody have an opinion on whether they're good or bad? Let's do the poll first. Marijuana dispensaries, for them, think they're a good opportunity. Hands up. 2 people. Cool. Marijuana dispensaries, not for them, think they're a bad idea. Put your hands up. People in the room who will not raise their hand no matter what I say, you can put your hands up now. Excellent. We know who you are. We're keeping an eye on all you guys. What are some of the concerns? People who put their hands up that think marijuana dispensaries are a bad move. What are some of the major concerns? And even if you didn't raise your hands, I assume that you're in that party, or you probably smoke reefer every single day and you don't want anybody to know about it. That's okay too. What is one of the concerns?
Federal
Go.
law.
What is it?
Federal law doesn't support the legalization of marijuana, therefore neither do finance companies, because it's all run by the Treasury.
Yes. So this is a concern about legality, right? So we have concerns about legality. Very good one. What else we got? Other
I
concerns?
don't think we need to make it that easy for kids.
We don't want to make it that easy for kids. Define a child. Define kids.
Just young people.
Define
I know they're
that.
going to get it one way or the other, but I don't think we should be glorified.
I don't know how old you are, sir, but I'm going to assume you're also young, like myself. Define young, just so I can have this in my head.
I mean, in the teens to 20s.
Pick a number, bro.
I don't know. 25, yeah.
25. Okay. Very cool. Your concern?
The strength of what's being sold in the dispensaries.
Ooh.
It's not our marijuana. It's not our mother's marijuana.
So, so the concern of the strength of the quality of what's being sold, it's not mom's marijuana. It's not what they were smoking.
Way stronger than.
And then age range of our youth under 25, and then the concern of legality. This is not federally approved. Even if these states are approving it, something could happen, right? These are major concerns that we all have. Yes. Are there any positives that we see to marijuana? Did I get all the negatives? Is there anything I missed? You got one.
Tax revenue.
Tax revenue is a negative. Oh, positives. Okay, we're moving on to positive. Very good. So if tax revenue is a positive. Yes, why is tax revenue a positive?
There's big bucks there.
There's big bucks there. What does it mean for our cities?
Actually, I think a lot of it's already assigned to fight drugs.
All right, hey man, don't take my stuff. All right, very good. So yes, so on a positive side, there's the tax implications, right? There's more income coming into the cities, and so they can utilize some of those funds to hire more police and make sure that they're censored better. I saw you raise your hand. Yep.
Just one reason?
Girl, throw them all out there. I mean, you were one of the ones who admitted to smoking, so.
Helps people with glaucoma.
A lot of hope.
People
Yep.
with pain management.
Yes.
It will replace people who are on drugs for
Yes.
pain, addiction. Studies have shown that people who do marijuana, they're not gonna break in your homes to get more money
It's
for
true.
marijuana. So there's a lot of causes for it.
It's true, and actually that's going to be a fun one. So I'll get into that a little bit. Is it okay if we have some fun today as we're learning today?
Yeah.
That's cool? All right. Very good. So holistic healing, there's a lot of outside of the box education healing that doesn't affect your liver. Anybody notice those, and I, by the way, am not a proponent on either direction. I'm a real estate investor. I just make money, right? I have no connection to marijuana in any way. I'm just honored that Chris thought this would be a great topic for me to talk about. So that said, as a real estate investor, my job is to make money, right? As a realtor, I work with real estate investors and we make money. I don't work with single family homes. I don't play that game. I play with how do I raise values? How do I make more money, right? So when I evaluated this, I was looking at it from that standpoint. Does this help my clients increase their values, or does this hurt my clients with their values? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Cool. So the holistic approach, yes, it's got a lot of healing issues, healing properties. We noticed that a lot of the drug commercials we see on the radio all mention something about the liver, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea,
Death.
headache, death, high blood pressure. Marijuana doesn't have any of those symptoms, correct? Mm-hmm. It does have one very interesting symptom, dizziness. When you drink alcohol and marijuana, the spins are real. Personal experience. That said, let's address some of the real issues, right? As far as it being legalized federally, I've been to Denver. Has anybody been to Denver? I hung out in Denver for a couple of days. It's a cool place, right?
Yeah, all you smell is weed.
All you smell is weed, because they have hired 18,000 people in Denver for the marijuana industry. 18,000 people are employed. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine who lives out there. We were driving through, and I'm like, oh, there's a whiff of it. We're on the highway.
Yes, me too. I got the same thing.
On the highway, a
It's
whiff
insane.
of it. And he says, oh, well, that over there is a warehouse where all they do is grow the product. So it's just like a bakery. As you're driving by the bakery, you'll smell the product. It's the same in Denver. There's so much being produced that you can actually smell it when you're near one of their buildings. Now, the dispensaries are not like this. This is just the actual grow facilities. And the grow facilities are put out in commercial areas, not in the residential areas, for obvious reasons. This making sense? Cool. Cool stuff so far? Mm-hmm. All right. Who has been to Washington? Washington, the state. Yes, also legalized there. These were what we call early adopters. Both states legalized very early on in 2014. Colorado legalized. So when I talk about this, I'm going to talk about Denver a lot. Is that okay? Because they were the first. We have the most documentation on them. Rhode Island and Massachusetts are significantly behind. California is also legalized. Las Vegas is also legalized. I lived in Las Vegas for 3 months 2 years ago, so I'm very familiar with how that setup is. And I'd say Denver is very similar, except far more progressive. What do you think some of the results have been in Denver now that you know that there's 18,000 jobs created?
Economics.
Home values went up.
Oh, yeah.
They went up a lot. They went up 67% from 2014 to 2019. Now, I understand that we're in a boom, but can you tell me that there's a single city in this country that didn't legalize marijuana that went up that percent? I'm a real estate investor. I haven't seen it, right? I check my property values consistently. They're not doing that. Even in Boston, they're not seeing that kind of percentage growth. Not in the last 6 years. So it's 5 years. So it's a true demographic leader. It actually pushes up the values of the entire state. It gets more interesting. Are you guys interested? Mm-hmm. Oh, very cool. Oh, you guys are a good group. So it gets more interesting. They actually went up in value, not necessarily around where the warehouses are or where, although that real estate itself did go up in value because only a handful of people can actually buy it. And the handful of people are some of the wealthiest people in the country right now. They're all driving Lamborghinis. You guys seen Lamborghinis drive through New Bedford lately? I'm serious. You've all seen one or two driving through, right? We see it all over Fall River too. Just a couple of Lamborghinis that we never saw before. Where are they coming from? You guys got a guess?
Ernie Bark.
Yeah. I don't know if Ernie Bark is the one driving them, but he's selling them. He's loving the marijuana industry right now. Those are $200,000 cars.
Yeah.
And even if these guys are frugal, they're $100,000 cars, right? So there's money coming in. There's investment coming in. I might shoot myself for doing this later, but who here has heard that the mayor of Fall River's got some issues right now? Are we close enough to recognize that that's our sister city?
Yes.
Me and James are very close friends. So having him in this situation bothers me deeply. On the other side of it, look at how much money these marijuana companies are alleged for just bribing people, right? Look at the amount that they're spending. I know intimately how much they're making every month. The one that we have set up in Fall River is pulling in wait for it, $1 million a month. Which brings the city, we get 3% of that, right? We get 3% of that into the city. It's just, we're taxing, right? That's $90,000 every single month that we've increased into our coffers, which is cool stuff. Right? Who could use an extra $90,000 in the coffers, right? That could help a couple of roads. Maybe they'll finally fix one of these. Right? Potholes, schools. Who's got the phone ringing in the back there? All right, so we know that it does raise values, but where it raises values is very interesting. There are a couple areas that it raises values. Now, if you have real estate investors, I got 5 minutes, that's it. Shit, we're gonna have to bang through this. All right, fun facts. You guys ready for some facts? You ready to take some notes? I'm not passing this around afterwards. I will raffle it off for $100 though, if you want it. All right. 2017 to 2019, values up. This is Massachusetts. Values up related to marijuana. $6,000 per property around the dispensaries themselves. I'm sorry, this is not Massachusetts yet. This is Denver. This was 2017, 2019. Each individual property went up $6,000 only when around a dispensary. Around the dispensaries is where the values are added. It's not just everywhere. Everywhere else feels appreciation based on the entire state, but the dispensaries themselves within those blocks are receiving higher valuation. Anybody have a guess why? Now, think about the Whole Foods effect. You guys heard of the Whole Foods effect? Mm-hmm. When a Whole Foods moves into a city, values go up around the Whole Foods because it's a convenience. It's an extra thing that the community now has. That's the reason that those are going up. Because you mentioned a point about, I think you mentioned marijuana being expensive for the kids getting involved in it, right? Here's the barrier to entry. It's more expensive at the dispensaries. Far more expensive than mom's marijuana, hence the quality that is associated with it. There are instructions, though, to let you know how much to consume. So if you're over-consuming, it's just because you're used to mom's and you're acting like it's hers. So don't do that. Follow the instructions. The young kids cannot typically afford this level of marijuana. The people who are buying it are driving hybrids. They're like fancy young kids, right? These are kids who are doing well. This is millennials, but they're not the scary millennials. These are the ones who, they might be bumping Cypress Hill in their car, but they're driving hybrids, right? Like they're dressing nice to go to work, and this is their way of trying a new experience without it being illegal. Does that make sense? Yeah. So the barrier to entry is cost. It's very expensive to buy legalized marijuana. So you can still it's even cheaper on the street now because those guys are running out of business. And here's the thing, they're running out of business because now good, well-to-do people don't have to go to them anymore. Right? They're willing to spend a little more not to have to go meet up with. Anybody heard the stories about meeting up in somebody's car and driving around for a block, and then you get out later on and you've got now weed in your hand and no more money? That's eliminated. Yeah? Our kids aren't out there doing these crazy deals with shady people. Your kids are out there now doing them with a person behind a counter who's just packaging something that's already been approved, validated, verified. It's a safer product. All right, again, I don't consume it. I really don't care either way. I'm a real estate investor. I make money. I do things that make money. So, Washington, D.C., another early adopter. All the values went up same time period from the point they legalized to 2019, 57%. The states that legalized earlier on have seen a massive influx of people moving there. When I was hanging out in Denver, there were 180 dispensaries in Colorado. Every single block has a dispensary, and they're not medical. This is recreational. You walk in, you grab what you're looking for, you go to the bar down the street, everybody's got a rooftop deck, and you can smoke right on the rooftop deck in most places. And you walk the street, people are smoking. It's no big deal. There's no extra crime. In fact, The only relationship they've seen with crime is the fact that hundreds of thousands of people have moved into the city. So with more people, more crime. We have the chief in the back, right? More people, more crime.
I'll have my opportunity to talk about that.
Yeah. So they've actually seen no relationship with the increase of dispensaries to the increase of crime in the cities that we've been able to track. Here, it's still local. We haven't had a long enough term track record. But in Denver, in Colorado, where they have 180 of these, they haven't seen an increase of crime, only an increase of people. And the percentage has stayed the same, right? What else we got? Only marijuana legalization has the value. Oh, so it's got to be full marijuana legalization. The medical stuff doesn't actually help us, right? It doesn't help values, doesn't change anything. It's the recreational side. People pay for what they want, not for what they need. Have you heard this before? You're realtors, right? Do they necessarily need to have that extra bedroom or the his and hers closet or the 2 sinks? Not really. They pay for those things because they want them. But the things that they need, like necessarily being closer to their budget, they don't really care about or see, right? They talk about it, they say it, and then they go 30,000 over, or they buy the house with another realtor for 100,000 more than they were telling us. Anybody experienced that one? Yeah, me neither. So, have I answered some of the concerns? Go ahead.
I still have one. Marijuana has, for every action, there's a reaction. You take marijuana, you get the munchies or whatever, or you're
Convenience stores are going to make out on this one. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, but it was illegal to drive while under the influence. But
Right.
now that they've made it legal, not federally, but now that they made it legal, and you can drive under it and you can't get arrested,
I don't think it's legal.
I got the chief in the back. He's gonna spill some beans for you
Actually, it
guys.
was just in the news earlier in the week. There's a doctor in Massachusetts, in Maine, that has developed a test that checks the eyes because of the pupil
So there is a way to
of the
test
eyes,
it.
they
Here's the
bleed.
deal. The
sex is the same.
no, the effect's not the
Your
same,
peripheral,
right?
the
So
peripheral vision is affected.
it does absolutely have an effect, but here's the deal: alcohol poisoning is deadly. You can die from consuming too much alcohol. We haven't seen marijuana take anybody yet, right? Have we?
Well, we don't know
We don't know
car
that.
accidents if they've
The
been
chief's gonna correct me on
if
these
they took a
pieces.
ride. We don't know.
That said, guys, if you want to know more about real estate investing, how to make more money, retire young, retire rich, that's my topic. That's really what I talk about. I retired at 30 through real estate investing. I teach you how to do it 3 to 5 years from now. You're a realtor, you have no retirement plan. You must invest in real estate. I'll teach you how to do it. Shoot me a text, shoot me a message on Facebook, and I'd love to help you guys actually retire young, retire rich. Yeah, millionaire at 32. You can do it. When you have a choice, always invest with the best, guys.